So just a heads up for anyone that's watching this and you're sensitive to curse words. I'm going to tell you there's going to be a lot of curse words. So let's just, I want to suggest that perhaps you table the offense. Just set it on a table over there because I don't want you to miss out on this conversation. I think it's going to be really juicy and priceless. So, if you can table your offense, great. If you have small children around, put in earbuds. Because it is going to be rated R language. Okay, so my guest today is Mike Kemski, and he's a two-time #1 best-selling author and creator of the PowerLife Principles. He focuses on helping others discover that they have the power to create miracles in their own lives. And Mike has shared the stage with some of the biggest names in the industry, including people like Bob Proctor, Harv Eker, Marianne Williamson, and many, many more. Too many for me to say. He's been praised by thought leaders and industry experts as being so authentic and so incredibly raw, and one of the greatest teachers in the business, kind of behind the scenes, but we're bringing him out today. Mike is humble, endearing, down to earth. He seems like a regular dude, but there's magic there. And it's because of the regular dude that I called him on the stage today. So thanks, Mike, for joining.
You're welcome. Thank you. I always get a little bit uncomfortable with those like introductions. Like, look how great he is, because and thank you for the prelude and the warning.
Yeah.
It's not going to be excessive swearing, but I don't filter. If I'm in a flow and I drop a F-bomb or I say shit or hell, whatever, I don't. If you filter yourself, are you really truly being authentic and feeling what you feel? No, you're not. You're watering that shit down. So you see, there it is, boom. So I want to thank you for that. Everybody know, like, it's not some excessive, like it's not some truck stop fucking see.
No.
but I'll tell you, the thing about these whole, like, I don't know what it's called, the accolades, the building people up. Like, man, that's not. It's never what it's been about for me, because I was invited to go on tour with Mark Victor Hansen, a bunch of big name people. And I went and audited it. And I'm like, this is when I first started doing this. I'm like, what the hell is this nonsense, man? They're up on stage going, "Raw, look at me, look at me, look at me." And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Because it's never about, like, look how great I am. It's not that. I am great in my own right. So are you. But I'm a goddamn train wreck like everybody else in their own right too. We all have we're humans. We all have life. And yes, there's some wisdom from things we go through in life that we acquire. There's some wisdom that we naturally have just for whatever voodoo makes us and shit, whatever. But it's always the focus is always like, look how great you are, or look how great you can be. Because you're not here to see how great Michelle is, or how great Mike is, or how Sam or Bill, or who gives a shit. That's all. Right. We better be great, or we shouldn't be on this damn platform. Right? We better have something to offer, or we shouldn't even be here. Yeah. But it's always the focus should always be like, how can I take this information, attach my life to it, apply it to myself, and see more greatness in me? Because that's what this is all. That's what this whole ridiculous dumpster fire of an industry is all about. Because there's so much, like, look at this special. You have to climb a secret mountain in China and grab the amulet of angst with the staff of wonder. What the fuck are people talking about?
There's so much to unpack in what you just said. Okay, first of all, the coaching industry is a little bit screwing itself. Secondly, like, authenticity has become a buzzword and a thing to become. And that's one thing that I really admire about you, because, I've been following you on social for a few years now, and you just can't help it. Like, it's just, you just are, and so many people endeavor to be, and you're just like, I don't know how not to be. And so that personally, that's one of the things that I really admire about you. So thank you.
Thank you. No, the funny thing is, it's so ironic because all this shit people are chasing, it's more exhausting. Pardon me for wiping my eyes, guys. I got a little bit of a germ from my 5-year-old granddaughter who just started public school, so I got a little thing. But I might wipe my eyes from the occasion. Don't let it distract you. The things people are chasing, I don't know how to say this simply. When you shift and you just become that what you are, it's so much easier just to be who you are than to create this facade or this persona or this avatar or whatever people call it. Like, I'm gonna show up as
Yeah.
this person, and they do that shit for a reason, because it a lot of times because it's what sells and makes money, and it gets people to be able to hide behind this mask because they're afraid people won't accept them or love them or like them, whatever, if they're just who they are. Like good. If they don't like you, they should go away. Go. There's 8
Right.
people on this planet. Who gives a shit if like one thinks you're crazy? Like, bye.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It takes more energy to not be yourself than it does just to be what you are and be honest. And I get that there's a time and place, that's appropriate. You don't walk into the grocery store and just start yelling in the cereal aisle, I proclaim that I am. You don't. I mean, come on. So it's not about that. It's just what I want people to understand from this is like, I've been doing this for 30 plus years, a long time. And I've seen all of it, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the fucking super weird, the super, like, I don't know, that's like too basic, whatever. I've seen it all. But it's so much easier when you live authentically. What happens, and I teach this in my stuff, but what happens is you start success and the things that you want in life start to chase you. And it's so much easier to live that way. And you don't have to put
Yeah.
on this, like, well, who am I at? Who am I when I go to church? Who am I when I go to the store? Who am I? You just be you. Like, it's just like, I don't know how not to be me, but I'm
Right.
saying it for a reason, because all this effort people look into, like, to learn authenticity, do you know how stupid that sounds?
Right. Right. Well, I think most people don't have, and this is like we will get to the topic eventually, folks. Um, I think the thing is most people don't realize when they're compartmentalizing their authenticity. Like, I'm this person with these people and this person over here. And I think most people don't realize that they do that until something kind of wakes them up to that. That's just my personal belief. Like, how do you know you're not being authentic until something mirrors that to you?
Because you can feel it inside of you, which when we talk
There
about
you
feeling, you can feel
yeah.
it. It's not that you don't adjust your behavior. When you walk into someone's home, it's their home. And if they're like, hey,
Mhm.
look, we take our shoes off, we don't swear, we don't, then if you're in their domain, then you fucking respect that. Doesn't mean
Right,
you change who you are and what you are. You just say,
right.
okay, I'm going to respect and honor your ecosystem. I walked into your garden. This is not my garden. And if that's what you want,
Mhm.
and here's the thing: if you say, you know what, I can't honor that, then get the fuck out. Go. Don't even go in there. There's no reason to. Because if you go in there and I can't honor that, and you start to become, you feel this angst, you feel this like, just like this, you feel it inside of you. Like, okay, you start
Yeah,
getting a little bit of anxiety, this like low key anxiety, and this like almost like stress, and your thoughts start rambling around and shit because they're not in this natural state of flowing and harmony in yourself. So you get
yeah,
disharmony in your own body, and you can feel it. You got to be aware of it because it's a very subtle feeling, but it's not that you don't. What the hell is that? All these computer things pop up. There we go. It's not that you don't adjust and alter your behavior around certain people. Like, you don't go into a church and be like, a church that believes in God, walk in like, yeah, let's go Team Devil, raw. Like, that's not the place to do that, right? So
right.
it's not that you just like go through life. Like, one of my nicknames is Shrek, because I'm like, oh, I tromp through life all like, oh, crazy. But it's not that you go through life just trying to offend people or stir the shit. Just be you.
Mm,
And what that does, this is so important and it's so simple. It's so magical. What that does is it naturally develops your ecosystem. It naturally creates the fertilizer for the plants that are aligned with your core energy signature, your default energy, to grow.
yeah,
And it naturally
yeah,
pushes out the ones that don't. It's a very beautiful, natural, almost effortless process. The effort is just in being self-aware enough to go, this is me, that's not me. And I'm going to feel how I'm going to feel. And if there comes a point in time when it's like, I can't be, I like barbecue and I'm at a table full of vegans. Yeah, I don't think
it's
I gotta
not
go
for
eat.
me. They're not my people.
I
Yeah.
just I want some brisket. I'm getting the hell out of here. So it's like it's not complicated. It really isn't. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, I think that really brings to mind this whole, sensitivity to what we're experiencing every day. and this might be a really great segue to the topic of feel your effing feelings. And, you know, like the more we allow ourselves to feel our feelings, and the more we're able to touch on them regularly, then the more readily available they'll be able to inform us when we're, out of authenticity, or inform us when something's not right for us. But you made a post a while back about feel your feelings, and I really want to get to that because, like, that was just so precious to me, because so many people in the coaching industry like to bypass how you're feeling, I believe. And to me, it's like you got to feel it to heal it.
Yes, you got to feel it to heal it. You got to feel it to deal it. You got, like that movie Elvis. He says, "If I can't move, I can't sing." Well, if you can't
Yeah.
feel, you can't express.
Yeah.
And if you can't express, what's that? It's spiritual constipation. Anybody that's
Mm,
been constipated before? It's not a fucking fun. It's not a fun, not a
not
fun
fun.
experience. Whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
physically constipated, it's not how we're designed to live. Energy's made
Yeah.
to move, and when you stop it and you make it into like this little part of the river that kind of this like congregates over here, what happens in that part of the river? The rest of it's beautiful and it's hitting rocks and there's shit and there's fish and it's clean and it's like sparkly and mist and whatever. Like, yeah. Then you go over that part of the river that's not moving. What is it? It's a shithole. It's a cesspool where the mosquitoes
Yeah.
go, all the garbage gathers together, and all the
The
stinky.
foam. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, made to move. like that stuff.
Yeah.
You got to get that shit moving again. So feeling is just that. It's just letting your energy kind of move through you. And I think part of it is people are afraid of so many things because we're made to believe that certain feelings are wrong. We're made to believe,
Yeah.
especially like in the spiritual world, or the what's that, the law of attraction shit, whatever that stuff is. I
Mhm.
teach the principle of attraction, but not the law of attraction. So we're made to feel like, oh God, it's scary. If I feel this way, I'm going to attract all this in my life. No, that's
Yeah.
utter bullshit. It's
Yeah.
complete bullshit. Strike that shit from your mind. Never think that again. You can feel whatever you feel. It's what you're being that you attract. And if you feel all
Mm.
your feelings, let them go through you and flow through you and process it all the way. You're being free. You're being real. You're being authentic. You're being empowered. You're being powerful. It's not the fact that you like, oh God, if I feel angry or sad. And you know what's ironic? The more you try to fight feeling that, the more you feel it. It's that when
Oh, sure.
you're focusing on, okay, I can't be angry. I can't be angry. I can't be angry. What do you what are you focused on? Anger. What's gonna happen? You're gonna be angry. And then you're gonna be pissed at yourself because you feel like a dumbass. It's just this
That's
downward
right.
spiral. And
Can I
it's
share
just,
something with you?
sure, yeah,
I
yeah.
I I recently had an awareness. I normally am all in on feeling my feelings, but I recently had an awareness that I just kept on feeling resentful towards this one particular person, and it's because I went to forgive and forget way too soon when the issues were ongoing. Right? I'm like, oh, I get where he's coming from. I understand it. I have compassion and empathy and whatever, and that is true. And I wasn't still giving myself space to just be pissed, and so it was lingering into drawn out resentment, and finally I came to this point, and this was just real recent, where I was just like, fuck it. I'm mad. I'm gonna just be mad. I don't even care. I'm gonna be mad. And I don't have to like them. I don't have to forgive them. I'm gonna give myself space, and I teach forgiveness to people, I'm going to give myself space to just be in this process and have it be what it is, and without having to, like, I have to be a certain kind of way about this,
And
you
what
know.
happened? What happened when you said I'm gonna be mad? What did you experience when you said fuck it, I'm gonna be
Well,
mad?
the release of the resentment, right?
like
Absolutely. The
like
release
instantly,
of the
right?
resentment, deeper awareness
Mhm.
into the understanding of the situation that I'm in. And now I give absolutely no shits about what happens in the future in regards to this person. Like, I mean, I care for this person, but I don't give any shits if, like, we interact, or how he's going to be, or anything like that. I've got zero attachment to it because I'm in this state of it just is, you know?
Yeah. Yes, and that's okay. So let's talk about feelings for a minute, because it's a like, what the hell's a feeling? What's the function of a feeling? What's the purpose of it? Why do we even have them? Who cares? Like, why is it important to even understand them? Why is it important to expand your capacity for a full spectrum life of where the hell am I? This is too small of a screen. There's your capacity. No, that's your capacity. So let's talk about this. So feelings, there's three. This is what I teach this stuff. I mean, and one more thing too, one more caveat to this. If you don't know me or my background or my story or whatever, then it won't make a ton of sense. But like, I didn't invent any of this. I discovered it in my own journey because I had to. Like, literally, gun in my mouth, pull the trigger. Whole different story, not for this interview, but I had to, or I was going to die. I didn't know there were people like me. I didn't know there were people like us, people doing this. I had no idea. So I'm literally in life poking sticks at shit, lifting up rocks. What's under here? What does this do? What does that do? But I'm doing it with my mind and my heart and my body and my three energy systems. And so we have these three primary energy systems that kind of dictate and govern our life: our mental or electrical energy, our emotional or chemical energy, and our mechanical or physical energy. We have these three energy systems that, when they're aligned and they're in sync and they're working as allies instead of enemies, fuck me, that's when you're like, man, I can just look at shit and turn to gold. I can walk by and go, you're pregnant, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. Yeah. You have potency to you in life that people are like, I want whatever the hell that person's on.
Right.
Because you're living, that's your power activated. You become so ultra attractive to people because they can see, like, oh, that's familiar to me. That's the thing. Like, you got to realize, like, when people see that, there's this eternal familiarity. We're like, yes, I see me in that shit. How do I get that in me? And people want to feel that way because why? Because it's natural. It's not some mystical, crazy achievement. It's fucking how we're supposed to live. It's how we're designed to live. It's natural, right? So it's like, but it's been so watered down and so filtered and all this nonsense. So that's why we do what we do, to help people get back to that point. But the feelings, your mind creates your life. It creates this structure, framework. You got memories and ideas and thoughts, and all the thoughts and subconscious, conscious, all that hooey booey. And then you go to what's next. Well, when you think about things and something grabs your, like, oh, that's neat. And then you start to get an emotional reaction to it. Like, oh, how cool would that be to be driving my, what do people, my Lambo, my convertible, do they make convertible Lamborghinis? I don't know. I have a Jeep. How cool would it be to be driving my Jeep, pop off, wind blowing through my hair and listening to Green Day cranked up, like, hey, how you doing? Hey, whatever. Just having a good time. And you go, that would be fucking fun, man. You start to feel that. That anchors that thought and that feeling. And then what happens? Activation energy. You take action. You do something to make that more of a reality. But what are feelings? Are just a chemical reaction. They're a biochemical reaction initiated by thoughts that have a purpose and function to make you do some shit. Move towards or move away. Move towards or move away. It's as simple as that. Feelings themselves, the chemical reaction lasts about 90 seconds. So people are like, oh my God, I've felt this way for years. Okay, it's because you keep repeating the shit. You keep like feeding it. Stop feeding the fucking thing for a minute. Watch what happens. Well, how do I do that? Because here's the thing. What happens when you continue to do this? This is why it's so hard for people. Anybody who's ever been addicted to anything is going to understand this. Addiction is an insidious son of a bitch. It is a monster. It is. If you were to define evil to me, it would be addiction. Shit's evil. And I can go on a whole another 2-hour rampage on that, but I'm not going to, because I checked myself into rehab when I was 16 and I got sober at 16. And I'm the only person that stayed sober out of that whole process. It was just crazy. But so these feelings, they're like a 90-second chemical reaction. And what happens when you do anything? You light a fuse, it burns out, the firecracker blows up and all the stuff is gone. It's not there anymore. You need a new firecracker every fucking time. So you have to create these chemicals in your body to feel. And so once they do their thing, they dissipate and the energy does what it's meant to do, then it's burned up. It's used. It's like gas in your car or anything else. It's gone. You need more, right? So you continue to feed it over and over and over. Yeah, you continue.
So then that's where building up the story of what's happening continues the process of lighting the firecracker.
Yes, because every time that you repeat that thought that initiates that feeling, it's anchoring those two things together deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until it just becomes so much a part of you that you think it's you. It's your identity. It's like, yeah, but you did that. And I know it's not, well, that's great, but how do you undo it? How did you do it? Like, it's the same process. And I know that it's fucking scary, man. It's hard because you're literally, when you start to feel different things and it fights that, this is principle 5 of here's my book, the PowerLife Principles, what we call the crazies. You're going through this biochemical shitstorm of things transforming inside. These are feelings and thoughts. They're changing inside of your body. Nobody can see it. You can't see it, but you can feel it. You're like, what's happening? You feel like a fish out of water. I call it like the spiritual purgatory zone, because your old life, you're tired of your own bullshit. You're just done. Like, I'm fucking done. I'm done being an asshole to myself. You just you're done. You surrender, like, fuck it, I'm done. And then like, okay, good. Like a hermit crab. This shell's too tight. I'm out. It leaves, and it's like, oh God damn it. What's happening now? I'm all exposed. There's sharks. Right. There's shit gonna eat me. I got no shell. I'm terrified, but it's got to walk over to the new shell. And the new shell's not quite there yet, not quite ready to move into this. So there's this weird space when you go through this transformation. And I'll get to a good point to this in a minute that's helpful to people. There's this weird space that nobody talks about. Everybody goes through it if you go through transformation. Transformation's fun, effortless. Fuck you. Have you ever done it? Don't say that shit unless you've done it, because it's not fun and it's not effortless. It sucks.
Yeah.
Bottom line, transformation sucks. It's like a werewolf cracking and bones are
brutal. Yeah, it's brutal.
Being transformed on the other side of it, fucking amazing. Getting there, woo, it's a bitch. You have to be committed to doing it because it's scary. And you're fighting identity, and you're fighting demons that you're making up and you're feeding, and they're growing. They're not even real, but to you they're real. But to you they're real. And that's this nothing wants to die. It's principle 5 in the PowerLife Principles. Nothing wants to die. Cancer, negative thoughts, abuse cycles, whatever. Nothing wants to die. Why? Because it knows how to survive. The primal function of humanity, of a human being, is survival. And so it's like, I know how to live like this. I hate it. I'm an abused, battered woman. I'm an abused man. I'm a whatever I am. I'm a whatever. I don't like it, but I know how to survive. So when you start to change that, your systems are like, red alert, red alert, red alert. No, we don't know what's behind that wall over there. Fuck you. We know what's over here. Yeah, it sucks, but we can survive. So it is. So first thing, I commend any single person, anybody who's ever gone through any transformation, whether it's addiction, addiction to thoughts, because that's what I'm talking about is addiction. You get addicted to these feelings. You get physically, chemically addicted to feelings, just like you would cocaine or cigarettes or nicotine, anything else. You get addicted to this cycle of feeling these things. Why? Because your cells divide, and as they divide, they produce more receptors for that chemical that makes that biochemical reaction that we feel as a feeling. And so your body literally becomes dependent on being a victim, on being abused. It's fucking crazy. And it's so powerful. So really, when you're making a transformation, you're literally just going to like spiritual rehab. That's what you're doing. And you're cleaning out this shit, but you're not just like stopping something, you're displacing it with new stuff. So these feelings that happen, they're like 90 seconds and then they go away. In that 90 seconds, we don't always know the first time, like, oh, there's a feeling, I should do this. No, there's a feeling, oh, there's an awareness. It's the first step. The hell is this? I'm scared, or I'm excited, or I'm nervous, or I'm ambitious, or I'm feeling like brave, or whatever. I don't know what this is. It's an awareness that happens. And as awareness happens, like, then it happens again. And then at some point, you're like, okay, this is familiar enough to me to where, oh, I got to push that button and move that lever. That's what this feeling is guiding me to do. Once you do that, the whole cycle's done. Either let go of the resentment and the anger, or grab onto the dream or the desire or whatever. Some action has to be taken. That completes the circuit of the mind, heart, body. When you take that action in your body, that's done. Now it becomes something that's like fuel. It can be, and it's not biased. It's not biased. It doesn't matter if it's like, here's how your life's designed for complete and total shit. Guilty as charged to me many, many times. It's like, I'm going to continue this cycle, and it just makes my life shittier and shittier and shittier. Or the energy doesn't give a shit. It has no opinion, no bias at all. So it's really who's in control of all of it. You are. And how does that control happen? Through thoughts, feelings, all that stuff. But feelings themselves, people are afraid to feel them because they think something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
And something
Yeah.
bad is going to happen. I'm just going to be, I don't sugarcoat anything. Something bad is going to happen. Oh God, now what? All that means is that you're going to probably go through some shit where you don't feel good all the time. That's the
Yeah, it's
bad.
gonna suck for a minute.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
that's the part that's bad, is it doesn't feel good all the time. But
Yeah.
in order to get to the part where you are neutral and you can feel good or bad, whatever you choose, you start to regain control of your energy systems. You've got to cleanse all this built up shit. And I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not clinically, I can't clinically diagnose people. Not my job. My job is to help you, empower you, to help you see your own power, to live from that power. The shit that happened to you as a kid, take that shit to your therapist. So it's not like, that's not our job as like mentors and coaches and stuff. We're not here to do that. We're not qualified to do that. Like, it's stupid. People do that shit. Well, let me see. You have narcissistic tendencies with bipolar. What the fuck, man? I just want to be happier. Like, that's what people are doing. I want to have more peace. Yeah. So anyway, I'm rambling, but the point about the whole feeling thing is like, when you start to just accept your feelings and stop being afraid of them, then you're able to just feel them. And what that feels like is like watching. I live in Texas and there's gnarly storms here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching a storm with lightning and hail and crazy winds. Like, whoa, shit. But you're observing it while you're still experiencing it, because it's cold and you feel the wind and you feel the rain. You're experiencing it, but you're more of the observer part of it. Like, wow, this is a storm. And all the storms pass. They always pass. And I'll tell you why it's important to be able to go through that stuff, because what do storms do? They clean shit up. They clean the air. They blow the dead leaves off the trees. They blow the weak trees down, and branches are falling, and shit's going everywhere. When a storm is done, walk outside and breathe. What do you breathe? Super clean, fresh air. The birds are chirping. Shit's brighter. The foliage and trees and stuff. Storms clean shit up. Our storms, our personal human storms, clean our insides up, to a point where we go, okay, I got a fresh day. I can do whatever I want with it. And feeling is a huge part of that. People say that feelings are you should never, I've heard this so much, you can't live your life based off emotions. You can't.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
And I'm like, really? And I tell people this, and I give them an example, like, what the hell do you do anything for? Any human being, what do we do anything for? It's to feel good, to feel better, or sometimes maybe just feel a little less shitty. That's why we do anything. We are self-serving creatures. We are selfish mofos. No, I'm not. Okay, listen, spiritual Sally, stop with your bullshit for a minute and just absorb this for a second, okay? I don't mean to be offensive, but I just get, after 30 years of this shit, like, stop. I don't even want to hear it, because it's just all you're doing is
that BS.
Yeah, you're reinforcing the shit in your head that's hurting you, not helping you.
Yeah,
so,
right.
And I want to help. So it's like we are self-serving people. We're selfish because the only way to be selfless is to be selfish. You have, when I was homeless, living in my car, I wasn't thinking about helping people and fucking changing the world. I was literally walking around at night, looking in unlocked cars in their center consoles for change, so I could steal it, so I could eat, so I could buy a little bar of soap and take a shower in a gas station bathroom. I didn't have anything to give, so how the fuck am I going to give anything? Nothing, right? You have to be selfish in order to be selfless. You have to be. That's the way it works. Take care of yourself first. The whole oxygen mask thing, all that shit. Everybody knows this inherently. There's nothing I'm saying. No one's like, wow, I didn't know that. Yes, you do, because it's in your fucking DNA. It's in everybody's DNA. All we're doing is taking away the calcified layers of shit that's stopping you from seeing that. So you have to be selfish in the sense to be selfless. So when we feel stuff, we do it, or when we do stuff, we do it so we feel good, feel better, feel a little less shitty. And people are like, no, I do it because I care. Right. And when you care and you help somebody, how do you feel? Well, I feel good. Yeah. Oh, way to go, Einstein, you got it. And I had a friend write me about this, and he's like, no, man, not in business, not in whatever. You can't feel. I'm like, well, in my opinion, like, I look at the world in a way, a very holistic way, where the nature of life is about harmony. It's about cooperation. not necessarily competitive, but cooperation, because where there's synergy, where 1 + 1 = 4, not 1 + 1 = 2. It's synergy. It's the two parts come together and make more than separately, right? That's how nature works. That's how we're designed to operate. So when you do something in business or anything else, it should be based on that. I mean, and you can see this happening more and more, but it's a big boat to turn, and people are so programmed and conditioned to have a certain way, and that's fine. We'll get there when we get there, as we get there. As long as people continue to turn the wheel a little bit on the boat, we'll get there. But the whole thing is, this guy, he's super data head, like really, really into like data and logic and all this. Everything's in his head. He's like, no, man. And he's building this spreadsheet, this super complex, like Excel, fucking this field does that, this does that. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but whatever. He's like, just nerding out on this fucking thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. He gets done. He's like, hey, check it out. He starts doing some things. He pushes this and that does that. Then a pie chart comes up. I'm like, what the fuck? That's pretty cool, man. He's like, yeah. And it all works. And I'm like, oh, how you feel? He's like, man, I feel really amazing. I'm like, oh, Mr. Data Head, why did you build this thing? Well, it's for business. It's for the, I'm going to say, yeah, but how do you feel? Because you achieved something that you did. You did it because you, at the end, you would feel good by doing it, either by achieving that result or by creating this asset for your business to create success in your business so you could get rewarded for that. However deep or shallow you want to go, everything you do is for yourself. Everything. And people, they don't like to hear that. Like, it doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a strong person. It makes you a fucking light. You know,
that's something philosophers have been arguing about for centuries is, you know, can anyone be truly altruistic? Yeah. Like, are we truly just good for goodness sake, or are we good because it makes us feel good? It's been a long debated.
It's kind of one and the same. That's my point. It doesn't matter if you're doing this shit because for altruism, doesn't matter if you're doing it for selfishness. It doesn't matter if you're like, I'm going to make the world a better place, or I'm going to make my world a better place. It doesn't fucking matter. The end result's the same. The end result's the same. Like, it's like, that's where I'm like, why are people confused about this? This shouldn't be debate. It's like, it's not that goddamn complicated. The end result's the same. So who gives a shit what the motivation is? But my point is, the reason that you should know this or understand this is because you deserve to feel how you feel. You deserve to be able to feel your feelings, whether they're angry or sad or scared or excited or exuberant or whatever. There's a whole bunch of them. Whatever it is, you deserve to feel that. Not only do you deserve to feel it, it's in feeling that feeling will move you to the next thing, the next place, the next whatever it is that's in front of you to take. It's the fuel. Your mind creates your life. Your heart fuels it. Your heart fuels it. So this puts gas in that this whole thing right here builds and makes. So you have to feel that.
I want to highlight that. Like, you deserve to feel how you feel. Like, you deserve to feel those feelings. It's like this, when we tap into this whole human being nature, right? This whole animalistic, who we are on this planet, core human nature. Like, God, if we didn't feel, could you imagine what life would be like if we didn't allow ourselves to have the experience of emotions? Yes, sometimes it sucks. Yes, sometimes it's brutal and painful and just horrible. But if we didn't have those, we wouldn't even be like the dog next door, or the,
life wouldn't exist. Life cannot exist without that. It can't. Because think about it. What happens? Like, let's just get down to like the very core, the most elemental function of this stuff, of like how this, why all this stuff matters. When life is produced, let's just talk about humans, because we have this human spirit duality. We have like our human, me big dumb oaf, do things wrong. Human stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Have our whatever the hell's inside of this spacesuit,
right?
With all this stuff, whatever's making this animated and alive. That's a spirit, soul, whatever the fuck, the seventh circle of Narnia. I don't give a shit what anybody calls it. Everybody has it. We wouldn't have, right? So the whole idea is that what happens when we spawn life? What happens when that baby enters this world? The chemical reaction that happens to the mother and the father sometimes. I felt this when my daughter was born. I was like, I know all the shit within me. What is all this? I know I can love that. I'm pretty lovey anyway. I'm pretty lovey and kind and compassionate and like very, very emotionally charged. And then when she's born, I'm like, what is all this shit? Insane amounts of like, I didn't know that was possible. But what happens, you produce these chemicals, oxytocin and all these chemicals that the mom does to create that bond with this child, to protect it, to preserve its health and well-being, to be concerned about its well-being. You know, not always. Sometimes there's a glitch because people are so fucked up they can't even let that happen because life beat the shit out of them. And that's a sad thing for a lot of people. It's not because they're bad people, just because life said, really watch this, bam, and Mike Tyson their ass to the jaw. I'm like, what the hell happened? So, you know, no baby is born like, I'm going to go be an evil creature in this world. That doesn't, I mean, anybody who's ever seen a baby, like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that happens because of life, because of society, because people are trying to force you into a round peg in a square hole. And then the people start feeling like they don't belong, and just a whole big mess, a whole nother conversation. But when life is spawned into this world, that the chemical reactions that naturally are produced make it so it's producing and support a support system for the natural function of life itself. It's about harmony and cooperation and preservation and love. And so why is it about that? Because what are we? We're all just a bunch of little cells in this living ecosystem of Earth, and this living ecosystem of our solar system, and this living ecosystem of the universe. It's all a living ecosystem. We're just our scale from being a human is this. So we go, oh, I got this and this, and you know, we base our scale off how big and strong or big and small we are. So because we can go quantum, we can go macro, we can go micro, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. And but we look at life through our scale. So when we look at it like the whole idea is about harmony and cooperation and preservation of love, because when the well-being of these individual cells or individual components of an ecosystem is thriving, that's all love is, by the way. What's love? What is love, baby? Okay. I'm a jackass too. Sorry, I like that fun. What is love? Love is nothing more than having a high regard for someone's well-being. Self-love. Having a high regard for your own well-being. Simple. Don't overcomplicate shit. That's it. So when these little micro cells in this bigger ecosystem are thriving, their well-being's thriving, what does that do? It supports the entire ecosystem, the health of the entire ecosystem. When those things aren't thriving and they become something that doesn't feed life to life anymore. They go on the other side of the duality of energy, where it's the recycle energy, death energy. It's just recycling. It's going, okay, it's done. I'm going to recycle. I'm going to leaf. I'm going to degrade, go into the ground. The ground's going to become soil. It's going to become nutrients for a new plant. It's recycling. On here, it's expansive. On here, it's contractive. It's just the duality of life, the ebb and flow. But when everything's working in harmony and supports the collective of this thing, then the whole goddamn thing is thriving. Then humanity itself is thriving, and humanity itself elevates a tiny bit, over time, a little bit. So we're not these crazy people that believe all this hyper bullshit agendas, and we fucking hate each other. Everybody hates each other. No, we don't. Go to the store. No one's trying to kill me. No one's trying to fucking hurt anybody. What are you people talking about? But the point is, the reason why it's so important to understand feelings is because what are feelings? They're chemical reactions in our body, and life has to have that to exist. It has to have that to thrive. You watch people, the more they retract into themselves, the darker their life becomes, the more gray their life becomes, the less animated, the less joy they feel, the less beauty they're able to see. The beauty's there, but they can't see it because it's like putting on a new lens, where it's just like, nope. And it stops the flow of that energy. So feelings are not just like important, they're vital, they're necessary. Without them, life ceases to exist. So
I was just going to say, I went through a period of time, probably my early 20s, where I thought that I was feeling, I still had emotions, right? But I boxed in my feelings so much and limited my experience emotionally. And then also consequentially, like in life, because I wouldn't allow myself to experience any emotions outside of this range, right? Because it was too scary, or I got punished for it, or something happened. There was always something that was a negative consequence to having those big feelings. So I compartmentalized, I numbed out, I froze, the fight, flight, fear, freeze thing. So it's like, for people who are in maybe the micro compartmentalization, for people that are numb or frozen, what advice would you give them to, like, where can they start, like, tapping in and being okay with this process?
What a beautiful, empowering question. Thank you. That is such a good question. I don't think I've been asked a better question in my life, actually.
Yay!
Because it's so critical. So, and what you said, you're punished for how you feel.
Yep.
What the fuck is that? Like,
Yeah.
you can feel however you want to feel. The thing is, like, you don't stop feeling, and that's what it is. You don't stop feeling. Even apathy is a feeling. It's a feeling of not giving a shit, of not being able to give a shit. Apathy is like 1 micron away from death. It's fucking horrible. Apathy is horrible, and it doesn't feel good, right? So how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you break out of that when you're like sitting in that shit? Whoo-wee. It's the same thing as, like, I talk a lot about, like, people don't know what they want. How can they? Because their whole life they've been told what they should be, what they should do, what they should think, what they should have. And if you don't comply to the shit, then you get punished. If you feel a certain way, you get punished. If you this is the big part right here. This is the key. Listen, if you express that energy, woo, shit, you get punished. You get ostracized. You get humiliated. You get made fun of. You get martyred. It's fucking horrible. Don't you dare express that shit. That's the process of feeling is not just the chemical reaction, but you think of it like you're swallowing all these little bombs and they're exploding inside of you because you're not able to go like a dragon and breathe the fire out. You're like, nope, you're holding it all in. All these little explosions are happening. You're containing it inside of you because you're not expressing it. That's why people cut themselves. That's why people do drugs. That's why people get addicted, because they have to fucking express this energy. It's not meant to stay inside of us. It's meant to be expressed. And you can do it through writing, you can do it through dancing, you can do it through singing, you can do it through destroying shit. Go to a fucking rage room, get a sledgehammer, and break some shit. Oh no, I'm not violent. That's not violent. That's not violent. That's expression. That could be art. Like, it's just
could be art.
It's just
yeah.
Put some fucking funky music to it, some cool music. Put some of those weird filtered colors and shit on this. Make a video. You're smashing a TV with a sledgehammer, with these fucking stupid goggles on your face. It could be like an art show, right? So it's not necessarily violence. It's just how you look at it. But how do you do it? Small. Don't be in a hurry, because people, like, this world is so like, oh, I want something. Instantly got it. Yay me. Like, that's not how these systems work. We live in a world that is governed by duality, the space-time buffer of duality. So there's space and time. We have a thought. There's going to be time, and there's going to be integration. And you got, like climbing Mount Everest. You don't just get dropped at the top of the motherfucker. Yeah, I made it. No, you have to climb it and stop. And why? You have to acclimate to the new altitude, to the new thinner air. Your blood has to adjust. Your bones density. You have to acclimate as you grow.
Yeah.
It takes time. So
integration's that piece that gets missed so often.
Because
so often.
I went to the gym, I did a sit-up. Why don't I have abs? Oh, fuck. You do. Everyone has six-pack abs. Every human being does. Everyone. You just can't see them.
Right.
Because, like me right now, I got a nice security blanket because I ate too many popsicles. But the whole how do you do this? Is important. I'm gonna get serious for a minute. This is important. I'm gonna get serious. I'm not gonna get serious. I'm gonna get, like, focused. Yeah. How do you do it? You do it like, what do you want? I don't know. People can't answer that question. They really can't. I want this. And they start doing it. Like, I actually don't want that. Well, I don't even know what I want for lunch. Then do anything. Make a bologna sandwich. Make a fucking celery and peanut butter tray. Anything. Anything. And go, oh, I like this, or I don't like this. I know it sounds ridiculously trivial, but just one small thing. Because listen, guys, if you're in that place, or you go to that place, or you know someone in that place, you get to that place where, why do people go into the darkness? Because they can't see their own light anymore. They can't see their own light anymore. They can't, their soul, the love, their essence has become so dimmed or so outshined by everything around them because something's happening in their life where they just start to like a dimmer switch is going down and they can't see it. So they go back and they go back in this cave of darkness. And the more they go in the darkness, like, oh, there it is. There I am. Okay, good. I feel okay now. But they're not doing what it takes to amplify that light. They're doing what it takes to get away from the other light to support the darkness. So it keeps dimming, and they keep going back and deeper into that darkness in their mind and their heart until they get so far in that motherfucker, like they don't even know, they have like almost nothing left, and they don't know which way's out. They don't know what it is. Am I going to hit my fucking shin on an old wheelbarrow that's in this cave? I don't know what the hell. I can't see anything. That's why people retreat into the darkness, because they can't see their own light. But all you need, and if you, and I have so much empathy and compassion for people in that, because I told you, I literally had a loaded gun in my mouth and pulled the fucking trigger. That's where I was at when all this started, way a long time ago. But I know what it's like to be at the darkest point where there's no way out. It's what it feels like. But as long as you have one fucking pixel, of light, it's all you need. And here's what you do. And it might sound stupid, but you have to love yourself enough to say, this might take me a day, it might take me a year, it might take me the rest of my life. That's not important. I have a target. I have a focal point. My focal point is that one pixel of light, that one piece of me, that one ember that hasn't burned out yet, that one tiny little piece. And I'm going to put every goddamn thing I have, all my focus, all my attention, all my energy, everything and everybody else can fuck off right now. I'm putting it all on this. And the more you do that, it's like blowing on a campfire that's out. It lights up. The more you do that, the more it expands, the brighter it becomes. And then you start to be able to illuminate the dark cave of shit that you're hiding in and go, yeah, I don't really like this. And so you can move now. You can move closer to the exit. And here's the thing, as this continues to progress, it's a successive progression. The more you have, the faster it lights up. The more you have, and it's a successive progression. And as you get closer to the exit of this cave and you go, oh, there's the exit, and you go out, you're fully shining. So there's no more outshining. You can walk into this world with confidence. You can walk into this world going, yes, I see myself amongst all these other lights. It's easy to be a bright star in a room full of dim fucking people. When you go out into the world and you get around all this, first of all, lots of crazy shit in the world that's like trying to feed off your own light. So you got to get rid of that. But then you go and there's all this bright shit. You're like, oh God, you start to feel highlight reels and social, all the bullshit. Like people like, oh God, I'm not good enough. No, when you do that process, how do you do it? You first of all accept that there's not a lot there, and it's okay. It's okay, because the wood is still there. Just the flames died down. Just like with anything, when you don't tend to it, it's principle 10. You use it or lose it. You have to either grow or maintain. And if you don't do one of those things, you atrophy. If you don't keep putting fuel in the fire, it's going to burn out. It's the same with us. We work exactly how nature works. Why? Because we are nature. We're not part of nature. We are nature. So just find it. People are like, well, what is it? They're looking for this cataclysmic thing, like this thing that just opens everything up for them. You don't want that if you're in that position, because it'll fucking destroy you. It'll wreck you. You can't handle it. I'm sorry, but you can't handle it. It's not how it works. You don't go like, oh, I just got in a terrible car accident and broke 67 bones and punctured both my fucking lungs and my liver's lacerated. And as soon as I wake up out of my coma, I'm going to go run a marathon. Oh, no, you're not. You gotta give yourself permission and the grace and the love to just focus on that one pixel that you have, or a couple pixels, whatever, and just keep focusing on it, and it will grow. It will expand. And I know that might sound like, well, that's not fun. I don't make up how it works. I just know how it works.
Well, and that builds a sense of emotional, like that builds some emotional resiliency. That builds that competence, like, okay, I've been through this or worse. I believe, I know, I trust myself to get through this no matter what it is. So that's super helpful. Like you've just like packed in so much here. I just want to like touch base on something real quick, like the expression of the emotion. it doesn't matter where. Like you had such wonderful suggestions. I love the idea of the rage room and art and writing, and
Yeah.
like journaling saved me. But also, like, it's okay to share this with someone else. Like, we've got this illusion of I got this and I don't need anyone, because we grew up in a bootstrapping kind of society, our individualistic society, but we all need each other. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to have that person, like, have a person and allow yourself to be raw and vulnerable and without pretense and without pretending to be something else. Like, you can just let it go with that person. Find that safe person to talk to.
So critical. And that person doesn't necessarily have to be like a close friend. It can be a
Right.
community support group of people that trust each other. I have that in my ecosystem. People come in and they're safe and they know they're safe. Like and it's so, again, another great exposure of truth, another great, not question but comment and suggestion. You've got to have that. We are each other's greatest gifts and assets in this world.
Mhm.
Because people like, no, man, so many people are making like material shit their god now, like money, and then they're starting to use Christianity to sell the fucking bullshit. Like, what the fuck's going on over here? It's kind of crazy. But like anything, I've seen the pendulum swing. It all
Yeah,
nature
it
is a
always does.
self-correcting system.
Yeah.
You can't go too far in the light or too far in the dark without it going, ha, no, bitch, back to the creation zone.
Right, right.
You do. If you go too far in the dark with that
Mhm.
cave, what happens? You're like scared and it's painful, and I got to do something. I can't live like this. Or you cease to live. So that's a correction also. Or you go too far in the light, you get so expanded that you lose substance and you lose connectivity to humanity.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
hurts. So it's like, fuck, I got to go back here. So you find this zone where it's like the creation zone. That's where all of us exist. When you go too far away from that on either side, whether it's in your own shit or externally with people, the pain is going to force you to move the other way. Nature has you covered. All you got to do is wake up, my heart beating. Can I breathe? All right, let's do this shit. And you go throughout your day and just let nature do what it does, because it will. But not to say that you passively live life. That's not what I'm saying. Just it's a whole
Right.
nother conversation. So let's go back to that. We are each other's greatest gifts and assets, because without each other, there's no point. Like, if you're like, fuck, man, I'm like, Michelle, look at that. Michelle. Ah, shit. I guess I'm looking at the sunset by myself.
Yeah.
Or you have everything, like these overachiever material people. You own all of it. You own the world, all the restaurants, all the fancy shit, all the cars, all the helicopters, jets, Lambos, land, earth, islands, everything. It's all yours. But there's no one else here. Who fucking cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
What good is it? It's not, it's worthless. Worthless. So we are to greatest gifts and assets. And when you find that person or that group, or they find you, then you need to honor that shit and do, this is important, totally express and say, hey, I feel scared. I feel like this vulnerability is making me feel like I'm going to be rejected and no one's going to like me.
Yeah.
And you just say it how it is. You
Mhm.
don't go, well, I'm going to manipulate the situation so I can control how everybody's doing this. So like, no. Just say how you feel. And if that
Cards on
person
the table.
If that
Yeah.
person can sit with you and not try to fix you, not try to take
Yeah.
away how you feel, not judge you, just be like, oh, okay, I accept that. You feel that way. Want to go get a hamburger, taco, whatever? Because you don't have to be like, oh, let me fix you because you feel like people.
Right. And
Oh,
there are compulsive fixers out there too, right? Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Life coaching.
So,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Big time. Mhm.
It's like a precious thing to be able to have someone just who is to be with your process, to just listen and not attach, to empathize but not play into the stories, just that, just not attached but
Yeah.
loving person. Yeah.
Like, you feel that way? Good. You don't ever try to stop someone from crying. You help them cry. You just help them cry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to feel like an obligation. People get real awkward about that shit. Like when my dad had cancer and he was dying, my friends wouldn't even go see him. I'm like, why?
Mm.
Well, I don't know, man. I just feel weird. I'm like, why? Because he looks like a fucking skeleton with skin on him. Yeah, I know it's a little bit weird, but he's still alive. and you
Right.
know, it'd be nice to go see him. But people get so uncomfortable around that shit because they think they have to like take it on and own it. No, just help people be sad, help them be happy, help them. I mean, not just the sad, the bad stuff, but celebrate, because no one has a problem with that shit. No one bitches about winning. No one complains about good shit. You know,
Right.
so you can't really bitch about losing and complain about bad shit either. It's just the ebb and flow of life. We all win, we all lose. It's the pulse of life itself. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Win, lose. The trick is, or the secret is, to make your trajectory go pointing to what something that you want. So as you win and lose, energy, right? An energy wave, ebb and flow. As you win and lose, you're just going up a little bit to more towards something that you want in your life. And then you're kind of always winning even when you're losing. And it's kind of a simple. Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved when you were talking about like when you're in the dark, dark, dark place, and it doesn't matter what you do, just choose something, just do something. You don't know what to eat, just pick something, just do it. Like back to that time when I wasn't having any feel, like I was like numbed out and compartmentalized. I I tore down my life, like intentionally, unintentionally, whatever. My life was just the tower crumbling, the tarot tower crumbling. And that was all I could do, was just have experiences. And those experiences, doing something, anything, informed me of who I am, informed me of what I like, what I don't like, what serves, what doesn't serve. It was challenging. It sometimes was painful. It was enlightening. It was sometimes a lot of fun, you know? And I wouldn't change it for the world, because it did get me through that dark place, and it did help me to like take off some of that it helped me to strip off some of that stone that was around me so that I could
Mhm.
be fully me. So do something. It doesn't matter what.
Yes. That's, I mean, the challenge we have with most people is when it's so, because I'm notoriously guilty of simplifying the hell out of everything, because I had to have it simple or I would have died. I'm like, I don't have time for complexity, motherfucker. I gotta get this shit. I'm gonna die. So I had to figure it out. But the problem is, the challenge we have is people like that's the horse shit. Like, what about the quantum physics, and what about the fucking blah, blah, blah? You don't gotta worry about all that shit. That's happening anyway. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to worry about it. You gotta worry. It's simple. It's just about
Mm,
focus on one thing and then express
mhm,
it any kind of way. Like, people like, what do you want? Oh, I don't know. Like, it doesn't, listen, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference what it is. If you have a desire, it's something that activates some feeling in you that pulls you towards it, or pushes you
mhm.
away from something else. I'm all over the place. Boom, boom, boom. You can't see me. And this desire, it does something. It creates some force, some movement, some motion. It creates a path for motion. And so, whatever it is, I don't give a shit if it's making the perfect ham and cheese sandwich. If that's what you want, it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to make $1 billion and I'm going to fucking cure cancer.
Mhm.
You don't have to. Listen, the way that you do that shit is
Start with
great.
the sandwich.
Yes, making the perfect ham and cheese sandwich. Because you know what happens when you make the perfect ham and cheese sandwich? You go, fuck me, dude. This is really good. And wow,
Yeah.
everything inside of you is changing, and you're feeling alive, and you're feeling like the appreciation for life. Like, it's just a piece of fucking bread and some cheese and some ham or whatever, and a stove. I got a couple of things. It's not that big of a deal, but it
Right.
is a big deal, because you start to appreciate what you like. You did it. You made it. You had a
Mm.
desire. You fulfilled it. You're eating it. It's fucking delicious. It's perfect for you. I might hate it. I'm like, that's the most disgusting piece of shit sandwich I had in my life, but it's perfect for you. It helps it helps support and anchor into your energy systems, that your desires have a value to you. It helps you
Mm.
understand that it's okay for you to like what you like. Fuck what everybody
Yeah.
else likes. Oh, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I don't give a fuck if you agree with me or not. I don't think for you. I don't feel for you. I don't do shit for you. I do it for me, because I like it. And then if it happens to enhance your life in some way, then fuck yeah, we're a tribe. We're good. If it doesn't,
Mm.
you don't like country music, change the channel. Get the fuck out of here. You don't need to be here. I don't care. It's like, but you're not. But that's my point. When you start to do this and you start to go through the process from A to Z, and you go, whoa, I did it. What else can I do? Because you know why? Why do I want to do it? Because it felt really, really good. And that appreciation starts to appreciate, basically, get more and more and more and more and more and more. And then you're living your life in this energy field, or this voodoo, wooey, metaphysical, magical shit that is conducive to and supportive of feeding life to life. And that's when you feel alive, because you're actively living, and you're expanding your capacity, you're expanding your ability to live full spectrum, darkest of dark, lightest of light, and everything in between. And then when you have that access and that experience and that confidence in yourself, because you've been on both extremes, you go, yeah, I can zip back and forth this motherfucker whenever I want to.
Yeah.
Go all the way there, I can get out of it, go all the way there, get out of it. You're never a slave to your feelings. You are the master of them, and you use them to create, because you can conjure them up, you can create them. Like, there's a story I'm going to tell you real quick, if we have time, right? Yeah, we have time.
We'll make time. We'll make time.
It's so potent how I kind of like discovered this, because I was 18. Yeah, 18. And I went to my girlfriend's house, and it was Sunday morning, and I like 10 a.m. whatever, and I had a dozen roses, and it was just this beautiful thing. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go surprise her and give her roses, whatever. Knock on the door, and I hear some shit. I'm like, why? She's not answering her apartment, or her door in her apartment. I'm like, what the hell? And I hear some boom, 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 and I'm calling her name, like, hey, open the door, I can hear you in there. And then she finally comes to the door in a sheet, and she's in bed with some dude, and I'm like, oh God. So some shit happened. I got a little bit crazy, maybe. No one got hit or hurt or beat up, but I was upset, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And then I leave, and I'm such a sensitive person. I look like all big, and I am big and tough and barbaric. I have a nickname. They say it's the enlightened barbarian. So I leave, and I'm just kind of like have these roses just kind of hanging behind me, and I'm walking, and it's it's a little bit cold, and it's in this place where, right around from her apartment, there was a park, like a park area, kind of like where the homeless people all hung out. And so I'm walking, I get down to that, it's only like a 10-minute walk, I get down to that spot, and I'm looking, and I'm like, man, there's all these people that are just homeless. And I see this one lady sitting on the cement, leaning against a brick building, kind of with her head down, looking. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, I wonder, and I looked at these flowers. I'm like, I wonder when the last time someone gave her a rose was. I wonder when the last time she felt love was. And I'm heartbroken. I'm crying. I'm empty. I just walking on my girlfriend fucking some guy. So yeah, I'm pretty messed up right now. And I'm looking at this lady. I'm like, God. And I felt this compassion for this lady. All of a sudden, all that shit, what happened? My focus changed, right? So now I'm like, oh, look at her. And not look at poor me. I'm like, yeah, it was hard. I mean, it's real. It was a real thing. It wasn't like, it's like, oh yeah, it's okay. No, it wasn't okay. It hurt like really bad. But I'm looking at this lady. I'm like, I wonder. And like, you know what? I just pulled out a rose, and I was like, ma'am. And she looked up, and I'm like, here, this is for you. Her eyes lit up. Her countenance changed. Her face started beaming. Tears started coming out of her eyes. I'm going to start tearing up myself just thinking about it, because it was just so moving. And I thought, oh my God, this lady, when's the last time someone like said they love her? And I told her that. I'm like, not in a weird way, but I love you, and I want you to have a good day. Fucking tears coming out. I'm tearing up, and I'm like, holy shit. Then it just hit me. Like, you can't give what you don't have. So in order for me to give love, I had to create love inside of my own energy systems. Heartbroken as shit. Just walked in on my girlfriend banging some dude. Yet I was still able to produce this love to give to this lady. Now, this is important, because this is about, like, people talk about allowing and receiving and all that. You have to have it first. You have to give it before you ever get it. Like, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, you create it in your mind and your heart. These chemicals, this shit going on inside of you, create that. And so I created this love, and I gave it to her. I expressed it to her. I told her. I gave her a rose, and I watched her. And then watching that lady's reaction and feeling that come back to me from her, that love, that appreciation, that shock. She was just shocked. And then so now I created love. So I felt love. I gave her love. She got the love. She felt the love. I got it back from her. So I win twice. This is great. And so the point of this is that you have the ability to create whatever you want inside of you. Not just the ability, you have the duty and obligation to yourself to create that stuff, because that's how you get more of it. By creating it, expressing it. Don't create it and hoard that shit, because that's going to give you fucking cancer. It's not like, that's not what a sport. Create it, give it away, and watch it come back to you in different forms, in different ways. It comes back in all kinds of different ways, because you're open to it, because you created that portal, that conduit, or that channel for that particular frequency of energy while you're doing it. So you're automatically open to it in that time. It's not like you have to do some weird spell and get a Harry Potter wand and Petronius Alamostus, and do some bullshit. You can't do that. All you got to do is literally change your focus, change the thoughts that produce and create a new emotional chemical reaction. Just listen. I wasn't like, I'm in love with the world. I wasn't Tom Cruise on Oprah going, I love that woman. I wasn't. No, I was fucking heartbroken. But I created just enough love to give to this one lady. I went and did that shit 11 more times. I had 11 more roses. And I was like, this is it. This is how this works. That's it.
You took that ember and you blew on it. And then she blew on it because you blew on hers. It's it's that beautiful. Cycle. Yeah.
That's why we all need each other so much. Because you can't do that shit alone.
Right.
You can't do it alone.
And by the way, not for nothing, I'm a big proponent of, if we need someone to blow on our ember because we're feeling so very tiny and small with it, it's okay to be like, I don't really have the air. Would you please help me blow on this?
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Again, it's that breaking down the bootstrapping individualism, that, and allowing ourselves to be, instead of there's a lot, again, in the coaching industry about being self-resourced and, you should be internally validating. Yes. And it's okay to be like, hey, Mike, I could really use a little validation. Will you validate me?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What's that?
Yeah, no, that was it. Just here's my ember, we blow on it.
Everyone needs both.
Yes.
Everyone needs both. There's no one look, no one gets a fucking pass at life. I don't care how wise you are, how many fucking best-selling books you have, how guru you are. I don't give a fuck about any of that. No one gets a pass at life. We all function the exact same way, every single one of us. We all have the exact same purpose. Don't you dare say that, you son of a bitch. I'm special and I'm a unicorn. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying we have the same purpose. Yeah. What is that purpose? To create. How do we know that? Because look at how we fucking work. We're creation machines. What do you create? Totally up to you. But the function of that creation is exactly the same for every single one of us. I've seen it for 30 years. It's not, and we all need both. Sometimes we need a hand up. Yeah. Not a hand out, a hand up. I got 2 broken legs. I need you to kind of hold on your fucking back so you can carry me to the place we can have a burger together, because I can't walk. Yeah. Yeah. I'll carry you and we'll have a burger together. Whatever. That's a bit of an extreme example, but yeah, sometimes we need that person. And this is when people don't realize that, and they start to degrade themselves and belittle themselves because I should be strong enough. Look, I'm one of the I'm one of the strongest people I know. And it is a gift and a curse, because it takes a lot to knock down a giant, which means you have to get fucking smashed in the head a lot, which isn't very pleasant, and it's not very smart, and it's not recommended. Soften up a bit, man. Soften up a bit. I need some fucking help. Somebody come help me. It's okay, because you know what? Most people, they want to help. Just like you want to help. You're listening to you see someone a little kid lost in a mall. Oh God, let me go. Where's your mom? You want to help. Most people naturally. Why? Because the whole harmony and the ecosystem thing. It's supporting the well-being of the whole through helping and supporting the well-being of the components of the whole. We're built to do that. It's natural. It's an instinct. It's not something that you have to I'm going to take a course on that shit. You don't fucking take it. What are you talking about? No, it's instinctual. Yeah. And everyone needs both. We need to be resourceful, and we need to allow support. Yeah. We need to be supportive to ourselves, supportive to others, but also to make that whole duality thing work, you got to have the yin, you got to have the yang, you got to have both. Every one of us. That's the system that we live in. It's not some big fucking mystical mystery that people have to solve. It's the system we live in. It's like blatantly obvious when you can kind of just like pull away all the bullshit and go, look at this. It's all just like pretty simple. It's pretty simple. I mean, it takes a long time to get to that for a lot of people, but you can get there. You can get there.
Love it. This was such a great talk, Mike. I so appreciate you just coming here and sharing your heart with us. Now let's tell everyone how they can find you. Okay, so I saw Facebook.
You can't. I'm hidden. No, okay.
You're hidden.
I have been for a long time. Yeah, I mean, the best way, Facebook, just Mike Kemski. You can find me on Facebook. Instagram, I have no idea what the hell my thing is on that. I'm not big on that, but I would say the best thing to do, because it's not like a sales pitch, but go to PowerLifeChallenge.com. It's going to help you, teach you kind of these processes of how to figure out what the hell you want in life for yourself, not what Billy Badass or Gary Guru's telling you or Sally Chakra saying you should do. None of that shit. This is about you. It's about processes we use that we've used for years and decades and decades. And you can do it without it costing you anything. So it's a just go see what it is. PowerLifeChallenge.com is a good way to go get started. And just for me personally, go probably Facebook is the best way to find me, or go wander around Texas, see if you bump into me at the store.
And we'll drop all of Mike's links in the comments, so check them out. And Mike, show us your book again, Power Life Systems, PowerLife Principles.
Yes, the PowerLife Principles. And
look at that beard.
Yeah, PowerLife Principles. This is awesome. Interesting story too. So the story's in here about the gun and everything. That's a whole different kind of talk. But yeah, anyway.
But maybe another time then.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, Mike.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It was fun.